Hello, my name is host Eric. I'm the host of Talking with Famous People, and I am here with famous person Claudia, and I've got some questions on a document here that I'm going to ask her and see what she says is the answers, and then we will be able to type her with excellent accuracy, hopefully. True or false? I am likely to forget small objects at home.
False.
Which would anger you more? A close friend forgets your birthday, or a close friend reveals to a mutual acquaintance how much money you make?
Forgets my birthday.
You're stuck with a group of 20 surviving shipgoers on a deserted island. Bob is a take-charge guy who has asserted an unstated leadership. Wait and see, or address right away.
Wait and see.
Jenny was angry at you last Tuesday, and you want to know if she'll still be mad at you today, a week later. However, you had the 24-hour amnesia flu last Tuesday, and you can't recall how you pissed her off. However, there are pictures from the scene. You can see either a collage of your own facial expressions, a collage of Jenny's facial expressions, or a collage of the facial expressions of each of 4 observers to the scene, all of whom were strangers to both you and Jenny. Which do you want to see?
My facial expressions.
Your own, okay. Pretend you need to give a work presentation to some people at work. If it were the case that exactly and only one were true, which would most likely be the true one? Number 1, the meeting went badly because non-cooperative colleagues hijacked the meeting and made things too complicated or compromised. 2, the meeting went badly because I wasn't adequately prepared, and while I do well on the fly, I needed to be more well prepared.
Number 2.
Okay? As a general rule, would you rather play defense or offense?
Offense.
Interesting. Okay, now let's go over to the other side. True or false? I lose sunglasses more often than most people.
True.
Would you rather share a delightful meal with a friend or team up for an engaging hobby or project, assuming each activity costs the same in time and money?
Dinner.
If someone you respect is motivating and you want to be motivated by the person, do you respond better to a pat on the back, quote unquote, or a kick in the butt, quote unquote?
A pat on the back.
There's an empty lot near your house. At this lot, there are some building supplies, including odd shapes of lumber, not boards, assorted cements and concretes with mixers, tools, and other such things. Are you more likely to look at this stuff and guess what is being built there with that stuff, or look and imagine what you would build there with that stuff if it were up to you?
Guess what they're building.
Imagine you are sitting on a couch trying to think through something complicated. Are you more distracted by a TV with pictures but no sound, or by a TV with sound but no pictures?
Pictures and no sound.
Are you better at drawing a picture or singing a song?
Do you mean like what I'm actually better at, or what like I'm remember better at? I'm
What
remember better
what you actually are better at?
at drawing a picture.
Now, explain your question that you just asked me.
Like, did you mean like am I better like vocally, like singing? Like if I were to be in like a competition, like I know I'd fail horribly because I can't sing, or like drawing a picture actually like how good you are at something. Because like I can like remember words to songs. Like I'll like listen to a song like one day, and then like a year later I'll listen to a song, and I'll remember every single word to the song. And like I like
How's
all
your
through my phone, I know like almost every lyric to every song.
how's your pitch? You say you're bad at singing, but how's your pitch?
Very bad. I sound like a walrus dying.
Some walruses dying have excellent pitch, okay? And they sounded just beautiful. You never know. Okay, interesting. Let's move on to this question about the eggs. Good news. Your neighbor Pam keeps chickens and has arrived at your door with a basket of fresh eggs. It just so happens that you need 4 eggs for the final dish you need to complete for Christmas breakfast. And because it's 4 a.m. on Christmas morning, the store is not an option. Oops, Pam has dropped the basket. Now each egg has a hairline crack in it. They won't keep. You'll have to use them right away, in fact, because you live in a festering swamp where everything spoils super fast. Now, would you rather there be 10 eggs in the basket and have 6 eggs go to waste, or 3 eggs in the basket and you'll end up having to alter the recipe somewhat?
Love that question, by the way. That question is great.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Have 6 eggs go to waste.
Okay. Um, I think we've got a couple more questions here. Let's ask these last one or two questions, and then we'll see what we got, okay? Pretend you are 25 years old, unless you're actually 25 years old, in which case you needn't pretend. If you are younger, pretend how you will be. If older, remember how you were. If there is a dispute that doesn't matter much, and it's mostly semantics anyhow, do you still want to win when you're 25 years old? And do you want to win more if you think the other person is smart or dumb?
I don't
Because
think I'd really care if it didn't mean anything.
I see. You are a soccer coach. It's a big game. If you lose, you are out of the World Cup. If you tie, you definitely advance from the group stage, but you'll then have to play the hardest team in the quarterfinals. If you win, you advance to get an easier opponent. But here's some more stuff you know. If your team tries to win, your team has a 40% chance of winning, a 40% chance of losing, and a 20% chance of a tie. If your team tries to tie, it has a 90% chance of a tie and only a 5% chance of losing. Do you try to win or tie?
I try to win.
Is the reason I did the math is the sensible choice? I would do the math if I were the coach and I suspect the math supports my choice. Or C, the math is irrelevant, just try to win, otherwise you'll end up outsmarting yourself into disaster.
Try to win, probably.
Okay. There's another choice. Or the math is irrelevant, just try to tie. Well, you didn't choose that one. Okay, here's the last question for you. You feel like cooking a nice dinner for you and a friend. The meal will take 20 total steps and 2 hours to complete. Would you rather the steps be front-loaded or spread out across the 2 hours? In other words, would you rather do most of the work at the beginning of the time or have it spread out over the whole time?
At the beginning.
Okay, so let's see. Let's open the floor. I'm going to turn this thing off now, and I'm going to turn this thing on. And let's see if anybody else has any questions. I will get the chat and stuff up so we can see if anybody has any questions in the chat. Taylor, do you have any questions you'd like to ask?
Nope.
Okay. Claudia, you're Claudia. Callum or Adorable Cloud? Let me start with you. Adorable Cloud, any questions you'd like to ask?
Not for her.
Okay. Except Callum, how about you? I tend to skip you because you never say anything, but if you want to, of course, Callum, chime in. Eccentric M?
I don't think I have anything to say, but I wanted to say that anyway, but I had nothing to say.
Okay. Gary, any questions for Claudia as we try to type her? JC, you came in super late. J-Matt, any questions?
Alright, so 5 people are about to get hit by a train, but you can redirect the train so that it only hits one person. What do you do?
Redirect the train.
Now, that one person that's about to get hit by that train, he's the President of the United States of America.
Redirect the train.
If it's Trump.
Does it matter which president it is?
No.
Okay. That's a great question. Now, if you have to actually push the person in front of the train to stop it from hitting the 5 people, do you push the person in front of the train?
Probably.
Probably.
You push the president.
What if this person was developing the cure to cancer?
No.
You're as utilitarian as they get. Okay, that's interesting. Other questions?
Yeah, I mean, I got a question.
Go for it.
So, like, you answered that you wouldn't leave small objects at home, or you don't normally do that, but you would forget your sunglasses or lose your sunglasses. I just want you to explain that. Like, what?
Were you lying? Which time were you lying, Claudia?
I wouldn't forget small objects because like a lot of them I'm always
Right,
You're breaking
You're-
broke
right,
up.
right. We can't hear you. We can't hear you.
I wouldn't forget small objects because I always end up remembering them. And then, like, if I forget something, I forget it on purpose. But at home, I'll end up studying it down somewhere, and then I'll lose it. And I won't remember where I set it down.
What do you mean by
Worse,
forgetting on purpose?
You don't want to deal with
Homework
something?
and stuff.
Like you know that you need it, but you just like casually ignore it.
Yeah.
Like if I leave my homework at school accidentally, I will not have to do it. Like that kind of a thing. That's a good approach. That's perfectly sensible to me. Makes perfectly good sense.
That actually resonates with me. So
INTP.
You think so? Okay, Taylor says INTP. I'm leaning there, but I was thinking also possibly ISTP. What? Anybody else want to guess before Claudia tells us what she thinks she is, or what she is, or whatever?
I was thinking INTP.
Other guesses? All right,
I
Claudia.
think I'll go with INTP.
Okay. Anybody else want to guess? All right, Claudia. Spill the beans. What's your type?
I don't know. You typed me last time. You don't remember that?
No.
What do you call it? You couldn't figure out what I was, and I don't know what I am. I've been typed online, like, just on, like, on quizzes, like, as INTP, but I don't think I'm an INTP because of the way, like, INTPs think about stuff.
Maybe you're an ENTP. Are you possibly an E? Do you think you're an extrovert? I mean, you're on camera.
That
Right?
casually dismissing stuff was really familiar.
The what kind of stuff?
When just casually, intentionally ignoring things.
Oh, right. Yeah, that is familiar. I knew exactly what you were talking about. Taylor knew what you were talking about. I'm sure a lot of other people in here didn't know what you were talking about.
I knew what you were talking about. I just wanted to confirm it.
Okay. All right. So it may be an NTP thing. I don't know. I mean, are you pretty social? Do you like to be the center of attention and stuff? Yeah.
Not really.
People
I
never
don't
want to
like
answer that
center
question.
attention,
Yes.
I like in the attention, if that makes any sense.
Say again.
I don't like to be the center of attention, but I like to be, like, in the attention.
Interesting.
How is
What's
your
your
awareness?
sense of humor like? Do you think, are you more likely to laugh at something that's surprising and shocking, or something that's just random and weird?
Random and weird.
Do you look for what is wrong or what is right?
Probably what is wrong.
That's an ENTP thing.
That's an INTP thing too.
It's an NETI thing. It's an NETI thing.
The reason
I
I don't
also
think
look for
I'm
what's
an INTP is because, I've heard, like, that INTPs, they go off, like, on, what they think about and, like, all the possibilities, like, but they do it more intellectually. But I don't really do it intellectually. I do it more, like, about, like, people and, like, situations. Like, if I say this, what will happen? Yeah.
ENFP maybe?
That's FE. That could still be ENTP.
I mean, INTPs do that. Like, I'll say stuff just to see what people's reaction will be, and then I'll say things I don't even believe in just to see what they're gonna react like, and they're like, yeah, okay, like, just to see what they're gonna.
Housemark, not Housemark?
I think I'm an INTP, but I mean, so Eric has had ENTP guesses or inclinations. I don't know.
I mean, you're the thing is ENTPs manifest in a few different ways, you know. And female ENTPs can be very difficult to determine as ENTPs early on because they are heavily focused on FE. As I was at a young age, I was very heavily focused on FE stuff and relation stuff. But you know, it's the funny thing is I had a group of people that was fairly intellectual around me, so it enabled me to combine those two things, you know. But I don't know. It's hard to say. Like, when you go out for a long time, you're going out with a group of people, do you get more and more energized or you get tired out and want to go home?
Are you asking me or Claudia?
Tired and I want to go home.
You get tired and you want to go home.
But like I had this situation like last weekend, and I just started in school 3 weeks ago, and so a group of girls invited me over to their house, and they were like really like cool, like level 100, 0 to 100 real quick, and I kept having to like sit down and like calm myself, like take like 5 minute breaks away from them to like center myself because they were just so ooh.
Approximately how old are you?
I'm 15. I'll be 16 in January.
So hyper 15-year-old girls is gonna wear out any ENTP.
You got a point there, Taylor.
Hyper 15-year-old girls wore me out when I was the 15-year-old boy ENTP.
You don't really go to like a lot of parties, like a lot of people, or hang out with large groups of people.
Not really.
Have you ever found yourself in a situation like that, where like you're surrounded by a bunch of your friends, and you're trying to like just hanging out, or?
Well, I'm in the club at school, and it's like you go and volunteer and stuff, and we end up in big groups of people, but I always sort of make sure that I have like at least one friend going, so that way like I have some person to like bounce off of. So
What do you do if a teacher says something stupid? Like a teacher, I had a teacher who he was a science teacher and he scienced wrong. What do you do there, or do you even notice it?
I probably think about it and think about it and think about it, and then like 2 weeks later I'll be like still thinking of a response, and I'll never end up responding, unless it's like really, really stupid. Like he says like he supports Trump or something, then I'm like.
Okay, well, I feel pretty confident that you're an INTP, probably. The thing is, at 15, you're going to manifest a little differently than you will in a few years, no doubt, and some of that is going to be the fact that you're in an environment like any NT is in an environment of mostly S's, and that causes us to adjust accordingly sometimes. My own daughter is an ENTP who doesn't display very intellectually, and it's largely because I think Jay Matt is quite the Trump fan there. Largely because I think that her friends aren't engaged in those issues and stuff. How well do you write?
Everyone says I write well, but I don't think I write well.
Okay, well.
How well do you come up with excuses?
Very well. But I think that more has to do with my mother.
You're going to grow into a fine ENTP.
All right. Well, so you've got a couple of years of school left for you to have data to determine whether you think you're an ENTP or an INTP. But at the moment, Taylor seems to be going ENTP. I'm leaning there too. You got that gleam. You got that mischievous gleam in your eye.
It makes it a lot easier to be able to see people's body language.
It does, yeah. So that smile says ENTP. Anyway, thanks for watching Talk with Fans People.
Going down the wrong path, she kind of grabs the microphone and is like, wait a minute. Get the fuck back over here.
Right, yeah. All right, thanks for watching, everybody.